What's up, you guys? This is Devin with CenturyFX Studios, back with another video. And today I'm just a little bit torn and I'm a little bit depressed because I found out that Canon doesn't want to service my lens. For those of you who don't know, this lens is the Canon 70-200 version 1 2.8 IS-L lens. Now, this is the first 2.8 IS-L lens to come out with the 70-200 focal distance, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this thing has been out for a long time, but it's one of the first in the class to actually pretty much look like this. But after a while, if you're a pro, you end up having these lenses that are heavy and they take up a lot of space and they're hard to use. They get hit, and these are designed to be in sports situations, wildlife situations where it's not comfortable for humans to usually be in. In sports situations, you can get hit by an athlete, get hit by a ball. I've been hit by a ball quite a few times with my camera, but you can get in a whole bunch of dangerous situations with this lens, and this is pretty much what it was designed for, really to reach. And, you know, the 70-200 is a part of the Holy Grail. It's one of the hallmark focal distances that you want to have at your disposal, or the hallmark zoom focal distances that you want to have at your disposal. And also, it has a 2.8 fast aperture for all of your low light needs. So if you're in a situation where you need to get a really nice punchy image with a little bit less noise, 2.8 aperture is the aperture to have. This is kind of the cross between having a big wide aperture lens and having all of the pretty much prime focal distances that you might want. All the portrait focal distances are all in this lens, and this lens is fast. Not only is it fast and it lets in a lot of light, but it also allows you to focus faster, and it also allows you to get blurry backgrounds that are high quality, or high quality bokeh, for those of you who know that term. So at the end of the day, Canon could not fix this lens. They wouldn't even take it. And you might be saying to yourself, well, Devin, why would you say that? You must be a Canon hater. You must hate Canon. Well, I've been shooting Canon over a decade now, and I understand that a lot of people are just going to be mad because I said something bad about Canon. But that's not the case. I wanted them to fix this lens because I know that they have a 70-200 2.8 Mark II and Mark III, and they also just now came out with the RF version of the 70-200. It's a lot smaller, a lot more concise, even though it kind of plunges in and out. It goes in and out, and this is more of an internal zooming lens. That they have a whole bunch of 70-200 lenses on their plate. They don't really. I'll be honest with you. I studied technology for years, and I know for a fact that they don't really change the design all that much. I mean, to be honest with you, they probably can't change the design all that much. Why? Because of physics. The lens optics have to be a certain size. The rear element has to be a certain size. All of this stuff has to be a certain size. And then you have to think about the pressures of the market. The lens has to be a certain weight or people won't use it. All these other things. So they are in kind of some stringent stipulations on how to make this lens, which leads me to believe that they have made too many different changes to the lens. It's not immediately different because it was a great product to begin with. Why would you make extreme changes to a lens that was already great? This is why I want to get this lens fixed, but I ended up contacting Canon, and Canon said, oh, well, that lens is not on our list, so we can't fix it. Because for those of you who don't know, and I haven't gone through this process myself because I'm really, sticky about my gear. I don't really want people, be sending it from here, there, and I'm a pro, so I need to be able to perform results regardless of what shape my lenses are in. So I'm more inclined to fix it myself, but I really wanted them to touch this. And so when I contacted them, they were like, oh, well, this is not on our list. I was like, well, you have a 70-200 version 2, a version 3, probably an RF 70-200 coming on that list pretty soon to be on the repair list. And I don't understand why you won't fix mine. Mine looks almost exactly as the same as the other ones. The dimensions are almost exactly the same. The weight is almost exactly the same. The elements are pretty much the same size. Why can't you fix mine if it's just an older version? As a matter of fact, if anything, you should probably have those lens parts stocked in your office as I speak to you. He was like, no, we just don't fix lenses that are over a certain age. And I thought about this for a second. And I thought to myself, I said, well, why wouldn't Canon fix my lens? Why wouldn't Canon fix my lens? Well, I thought to myself, well, it might be a marketing thing. If you keep supplying parts and allocating resources to fix lenses that are pretty old, then you're losing money on the newer lenses that came out. If you keep, refreshing this old lens, people don't have a need to buy the newer 7200 or the newer 7200 RF lens. So that may be a reason. Another reason is just that they don't want to fix it because they just don't want to fix it, which I don't think that's the reason. I think it's strictly a marketing, strategy that they don't want to fix older lenses because they don't want to keep them in circulation. They want to keep the newer lenses in circulation and not the older lenses in circulation, which is kind of a shot to the back of a Canon user. Why? Because Canon has amassed the biggest lens lineup of pretty much any manufacturer in the world. That's why Canon, in my opinion, is probably one of the most sold cameras in the world, is because they have the most lenses. You get to choose from the most lenses. You get the most diverse looks. For those of you who don't know what the Canon 85mm 1.2 is, it's a beast of a lens. You have so many different lenses that are not in other brands. Not many other brands have an 85 1.2. Now, there's third-party brands that don't work well with the higher-end brands and main-party brands, like, Sigma and Tamron, especially Tamron older lenses. They don't work really well with Canon once they've taken a tumble. But the 70-200s and all the other lenses that are Canon brand pretty much work seamlessly with Canon. And now you're in the age where you're converting lenses, trying to get them to work on your mirrorless bodies. Well, it will be an advantage, in my opinion, or at least for me, to have as many lenses at my disposal that are Canon, because if I go back to this Canon new system where they come out with this EOS R5 and R6, well, I want to have my old lenses. That's one of the reasons why Canon has made this new converter that's only like $100-200 for a converter for your mirrorless body to use your old EF lenses, because they want to keep that market together. Those of you who have supported Canon over the long term of time, you get this converter for this new mirrorless EOS system, and this RF lens system can work, and also you have the the EOS DSLR lenses that can work on your body as long as you have that converter. And that was an ingenious move. But on the back end, for those of us who have really, really been in the tried and true Canon game, we're kind of left twiddling our thumbs with lenses that we need repairs, because we might have some old lenses, and lenses don't lose their value. And I'm pretty sure Canon knows this. Canon knows that lenses don't lose their value. So I'm just really depressed that I'm kind of being out-marketed with my older gear. So for those of you who have older gear, if you have any old 50mm 1.4s, these nice legacy lenses, 50mm 1.4 is not like great, but if you have a good old Canon lens like the 135 f2 and the Magic Drain Pipe from Canon, you want to have these lenses. Just take care of them, because the more you take care of them, the less you'll have to worry about being out-marketed. So the company feels as though they don't need to fix your lens. Like, you don't have to worry about this. It becomes, to me, it really becomes depressing, and it makes me nervous that I might not be able to produce a product or a better product because I don't have the lens that Canon or I got from Canon. But you have to think about it this way. You have to think about how photography is seen in the world today. Photographers really don't get as much money as they used to because of Instagram, Facebook, and all these new digital phones that allow you to take digital pictures. People don't really respect photography as much as they should. They love taking pictures. Pictures are probably more popular than they have ever been in the world due to social media and all these things being shared all at once. But cameras and photographers who operate those cameras and respect the art and know the art, knows about lighting ratios and manual mode and all these other things and all the basics to make or to create the greatest image and all the creativity aspects, knowing about light and color, all these aspects and composition and framing that allow you to be respected are not being respected because a lot of things are automated and made easier. And they can be more satisfied with a 50 megapixel image coming from a cell phone than a 20 megapixel image with the right composition and creativity and stuff like that. They're more, I'm not gonna say they don't like it, but they're less inclined to pay for it. And with Canon not being able to fix those older lenses, keeping those photographers who are at feast or famine right now, trying to really get ahead in the photography game and still try to be good photographers and still try to make a living out of this, it makes it hard for them when the companies don't want to service what they're advertising to be good products. So, you know, with all these things what Canon doing with their RF lenses and stuff like that, and this new body and system, and they're trying to cater to the people who are still Canon users, I think they really should open up that repair market and see if they can really service us. I'm done with CenturyFX Studios, guys. Thanks for watching the video, and stay tuned for the next one.